Unfortunately, I'm going to start with the negative. I think from my perspective and experience as a research scientist, universities are doing a terrible job integrating a scientific understanding and a scientific approach with larger questions and with the perspective of other academic divisions or academic areas. Scientists today are encouraged to focus increasingly on narrow windows of scientific research as a way of achieving external funding, which is becoming increasingly important to the financial revenue of the university. So research programs that become so incredibly specialized limit the ability of scientists even to talk to other scientists, much less to talk to people in the humanities or in the arts. So we are strongly working against the kind of integration that is so critical for a research university or any university to achieve its goals. So what are the essential elements? What is being lost with this specialization of science? Or to put it around the other way, as you asked, what are the essential elements of a university that need to be present? And I think the answer to that question really depends on what you define as the goal of the university. So from my perspective, from my view, the goal of a university is to foster both wisdom and virtue among the faculty and among the students. And how is it that then one accomplishes that goal? So I think three essential elements would be, first, faculty in particular in the sciences need to be encouraged to pursue truth, not just information. And pursuing truth is not something that gets encouraged because it doesn't get you grant money. It doesn't bring grant money into the university and support the university financially. So we can't, however, simply train students by delivering knowledge or skills to them. We have to try to train the students to see a scientific perspective as a component of a bigger picture. The second element, I think, would be, for an authentic university, it has to be focused on the formation of the students, not simply on their technical skills or their scientific knowledge. Our goal should be to bring these students to be responsible and educated citizens. And that requires us to look at them as three-dimensional people, not merely as technicians. Finally, I would say an essential or authentic university needs to work to promote active communication across disciplines. That we can't pursue the truth or form students into responsible citizens unless we are able to talk more broadly with each other, not just with other scientists, but with people from all academic disciplines. Well, from my perspective, from many years of doing science in my field, I think wonder is most effectively promoted by two things: by experience and by beauty. So working to provide hands-on learning experiences for students that are led by questions that originate with the students themselves, not simply a curriculum that has a set of experiments that the student will do, but to encourage students to really engage in the process of science, which is to ask a question about the world, and then to answer it. Nothing really inspires curiosity, wonder, and excitement more so than coming up with a hypothesis and seeing whether, by objective experimentation, it's true or not. I remember when I was a student, I would wake up often in the middle of the night and get dressed and run back to the lab because I was so excited to see the result of an experiment and to know if it was correct or incorrect, the hypothesis that had driven that experiment. So obviously achieving this kind of a hands-on learning process is very challenging. simplistic or formulaic experiments are really not going to be very inspiring for students. But finding an answer to a question that you have always found curious or that you found confusing can be extremely compelling and a great source of authentic learning. Second, the second tool for renewing the life of the university, I really believe, is a greater reliance on beauty. Science isn't just about figuring out how things work. It's not like taking a machine apart and knowing all the parts, even though it has that element in some ways. Science is a tool for revealing the intricacy, the balance, the detail, and the elegance of the real world. And bringing this to students, particularly through images, and through relating those images by knowledge to structure and function, is extraordinarily compelling. I can talk to my students for an hour, but I can show them one picture, one beautiful picture. And you can hear them gasp, what is that? You know, that is so cool. You know, I want to understand this better. And particularly when that beauty can be related to how something actually works and why it needs to be in the way that it is. So I think if we can naturally lead students through beauty to a better understanding of structure and function, that automatically creates a true respect and wonder about the world.
Thank you very much. How beautiful.
It is very true. I mean, this is why I started studying the embryo, because the more I learned about embryogenesis, the more I became transfixed. It was almost like magic. It was this incredibly intricate, beautiful dance that involves so many complex structures and so many unlikely relationships. You know, things coming together at exactly the right time in order to make something happen. It was awe-inspiring, truly. And it also helped me to appreciate that nothing about the embryo could be explained without a reference to its final purpose, to its final form. And so it was through seeing the beauty of the embryo and the beauty of the processes that went into building the mature body that, you know, I had to come to understand that a purely scientific understanding was not enough.